Hi guys, it's Heather and I'm so excited to introduce this recipe with you guys. So to start off, we're going to whisk together some high gluten flour or bread flour and some salt. Now if you're in a pinch, all-purpose will work fine as well, but keep in mind that you'll have to add less water. Speaking of water, we'll be adding some sugar to taste. Any sugar will work, and some yeast to warm water. Make sure the water is warm enough to activate our yeast, but not too hot because we don't want to kill it. And after we've given that a good mix, let's stir in our wet mixture with our dry. It should form a relatively shaggy dough, which won't come together completely just by mixing with a spoon or a fork. But don't worry, we're going to get in with our hands, and please don't be scared about kneading dough. You don't have to be an expert at it. It is so fun. I did get pretty impatient, so you'll see me ripping the dough in half to mop up the flour, but it still turned out amazing, and that is literally the proof that you don't have to be good at kneading or baking bread to perfect this recipe. It's an extremely forgiving recipe, and it's really not as scary as you think. I wasn't bothered to scrape off the flour sticking to my bowl, so I added some more from the bag. You'll need to knead this around 10 to 12 minutes, and after some time your dough will look more smooth. It'll be quite stiff and firm, but elastic, which is exactly what we want. In hindsight, I should have kneaded it a little bit longer because you see the dough barely bounced back, but the bagels still turned out beautiful and delicious. Now let's bring back our bowl and coat it lightly with some oil. I love sesame oil because it smells super fragrant, but of course you can use any oil you want. Just make sure the dough is coated as well, and you're going to cover the bowl with some plastic wrap or damp cloth. We need to let the dough rise in a warm place around 45 minutes to an hour. So I set my oven to 38 Celsius or 100 Fahrenheit with the door cracked open. But I let it rise for only 40 minutes because I had a class after this. I really suggest 45 to 60 because you'll get the best results. Anyways, after an hour or when the dough doubles in size, you're going to give it a couple of punches. And then you're going to let it rest again for 10 more minutes. Then the next step is mandatory. It is super important. You're going to play with the dough. It is so fun. Look how stretchy and smooth and soft it is. Like, come on guys. This is my favorite part of making a bagel, and I hope you guys agree. Once you're satisfied and done with that, we are going to roll this dough out into a log and divide it into equal parts. I recommend 4 bits, but you'll see I did 5 just because I was curious and I wanted smaller ones, but 4 works perfect for this recipe. Now, there isn't a correct way to shape this, but I find that lightly poking a hole and stretching it out with your fingers works really good too. Make sure the hole is bigger than you think because these bagels will puff up both in the water and in the oven. So once you've shaped your bagels, we'll let them rise for 10 more minutes. In the meantime, preheat your oven to 220 Celsius, 425 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 7, and bring a pot of water to a boil. Once it's boiling, you want to reduce the heat and cook the bagels 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Then you need to be fast. With this step, you'll have to immediately transfer it to some kind of surface and press on the topping. Because I didn't use oil, I had to press it on really quickly because the bagel was kind of like drying on the outside, so just a heads up on that. And after you're done with all of that, you'll bake it on a lightly oiled parchment paper for 18 to 20 minutes. And for all of you that haven't left the video yet, I do have a little surprise, so turn your sound up because this just might be the best sound you've ever heard in your entire life. pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the link in the description box for the full recipe and my blog, which you'll find a lot more other cool recipes.